This is Cheyenne Valentine, back today again with a new episode. In today's episode, I want to do a video request, and I really want to touch this subject, and I'm glad that this guy sent me this question. So the question is, I'm going to read the email. Can you do a video on how a shy, timid individual such as myself can learn to stand up for themselves? For some reason, I always found this very hard to do. Whenever someone gets angry with me or talk to me any kind of way, I get nervous and wouldn't want to say anything back. I feel that if I do, things will usually get worse and I'll make myself a bigger victim, either getting destroyed verbally or physically. I'm not a small guy. I'm pretty big and tall, but my confidence level is low. How can I become more assertive and less tolerant of disrespect? Like I said, I want to thank the person again for sending me this email. So let's get into it. First, I want to say to this person, to anyone who is struggling with this, before I get into this video, I want you to be open-minded. I'm going to give some suggestions, and I need for you to just listen and be open-minded, okay? Please be open-minded. If you're willing to be open-minded, then continue listening to the video. The first thing I want to point out in this email is when he said that I am not a small guy. I'm pretty big and tall, but my confidence level is low. And because he's tall and big, people probably looking at him just, automatically just assumes he's going to be aggressive and no nonsense. And so people do like to judge a book by its cover. And this is a good point, because just because a person is tall and big, let's say a guy, doesn't mean that he's confident. Just because a woman is pretty doesn't mean that she thinks she's all that and she has confidence. See, confidence comes from within. It really does. Yes, your appearance can determine certain things in your perspective of yourself. But in this case, with this gentleman, he's dealing with a confidence issue, and it's internal. He has to fix it internally. Okay, now, what I want to say to him and to anyone's that, and I'm going to address it more towards him, but this goes for anyone. With you, it could be one or two things going on. You could have been born a shy person. Okay, you're just naturally shy. Or something could have happened when you were, I don't know what your age is, but something could have happened when you were younger, where maybe you got into an argument and you were disrespected and you want to now avoid getting into confrontations. It could be that you did stand up for yourself once and someone physically assaulted you and they quote unquote won the fight, and so now you're trying to avoid it. Or you could just be naturally shy. Now me, I understand exactly what you're going through. I'm naturally shy. Okay, I was born this way. My father used to say when I was a little girl, I would just sit and watch other people. I was very observant. I would just sit and watch other kids play, and I'll participate sometimes, but I would normally just watch. And so I was naturally shy. Now, with people who are naturally shy and timid to you, the reason why you're finding it hard to stand up for yourself is just because you're dealing with a confidence issue, which is internally. And I'm going to get into how you can fix your confidence issue, which is internal. It has to be fixed internally. You have to reprogram yourself. I'm going to get into that later in the video. But the first thing is fear. You fear the outcome. Remember in the email, you said, I feel that if I do stand up for myself, things will usually get worse and I'll make myself a bigger victim, either getting destroyed verbally or physically. So it's the fear of the person's reaction that's stopping you from standing up for yourself. So basically, take me for example. I dealt with the same issue. One of the things is you probably feel anxiety, and like you said, you did say you feel nervous. Whenever someone gets angry with me or talk to me any kind of way, I get nervous and wouldn't want to say anything back. So let's underline the word nervous. That's anxiety. You feel anxiety. So when a person comes at you foul, they're rude to you, they're disrespectful, you already know what you want to say. It's in your head, but you filter and you stop yourself from saying it because you are afraid of their reaction. So in a sense, you're controlling. I'm the same way. You're trying to control the outcome. So you figure, okay, if I don't say anything back, I can stop the confrontation from happening. See, you're trying to stop a confrontation from happening. Most shy people who are just timid, it's a natural default where we don't want confrontation. We fear the person's reaction. Now let's get into that fear. Let's talk about that fear. What is it that you fear they're going to do to you? You said you fear that you're going to get destroyed verbally or physically. Why do you feel you're going to get destroyed verbally or physically? Is it because in the past you got into verbal altercation and the person, quote unquote, won? Or is it because you stood up for yourself one time against maybe a guy and he won the fight? Or maybe, let's just say maybe you from a young boy was always shy and you never wanted a confrontation, and so you always prevented yourself from standing up for yourself or doing anything that will lead and will let things escalate. Either way, it's the fear that's stopping you from standing up for yourself. So we got to break down the fear. We got to get rid of the fear. So what is the worst thing that could happen if you stand up for yourself? If someone, whether it's a male or female, gets rude with you and you say something back, the fear is that they're unpredictable. You don't know how they're going to react. And that is what you fear about. You fear them cursing you back out, winning the argument. You fear them physically assaulting you. Now ask yourself why you fear that. It's probably because you think you can't defend yourself. Maybe physically you feel if you get into an argument with a guy, if a guy says something disrespectful to you and you confront him, you might feel he might hit you. Now, why do you feel that you can't physically overtake him? It's because you don't know how to fight. Maybe you grew up and you never got into fights. Okay, one suggestion is, how about you take a boxing class, a self-defense class? Like I said, you got to be open-minded here. Don't be prideful. Don't be prideful. Men and women both take self-defense classes, boxing classes. So the physical part of it. If you know how to fight and defend yourself, because it's good if you grew up in a nice area, you didn't have to fight. That's great. So there's nothing wrong with that. Some people who did not grow up in a violent environment didn't get into fights, and so they don't know how to fight. They can be big and tall. They just don't know how to, work their hands. They don't know how to fight, and that's perfectly fine. But we want to build up your confidence and get rid of that fear. Okay. So to build up your confidence so that you feel like you won't get destroyed physically, what would make you feel more confident in a physical altercation? You winning the fight, right? So what can you do to win the fight? You have to learn how to fight. So one way I would suggest is to take a boxing class or a self-defense class. Okay, so that would get rid of, so from here on out, once you take a self-defense class or a boxing class, that will build up your confidence physically, where you feel as if any guy was to approach you disrespectful and things would escalate, you can handle yourself. Okay, you can handle yourself. But if you feel you can't fight and defend yourself physically, you're gonna always filter what you want to say, because make no mistake, whenever someone disrespects you, I know there's things in your head you want to say to them. I'm the same way. But you stop yourself because you're afraid of what you're thinking. You're trying to predict the outcome. You're trying to control the outcome. Don't think about the outcome. Just say what's on your mind. Now, before you say what's on your mind, you're gonna feel anxiety. That's what that nervousness is. Nervousness is anxiety. You probably start, your heart might start beating fast because this could lead to something you don't want it to lead to. But you have to understand, in life, in this world, it's polar opposites, good and bad. It's peaceful, it's happy and it's sad. So in this world, you're going to run into people who you're going to get into confrontations with, and you're going to run into good people and you're going to run into bad people, and you cannot avoid it. It's time to stop avoiding it, because you can't. I'm just like you. I'm a very happy, free, happy-go-lucky person. I'm kind of like a peacemaker. I'm all those things, okay? But at the same time, everyone is not like me. So I can't avoid, I had to learn, I couldn't avoid confrontation forever. And when you learn how to say no and stand up for yourself, I'm going to tell you, it's going to feel so great, and you're going to get addicted to it, okay? So the physical part, take a boxing class, and possibly Take a self-defense class. Don't be prideful. Like I said, you got to be open-minded. What I'm going to tell you. Okay, verbally, you say you're afraid to speak up sometimes because you feel it's going to get worse, and they're going to verbally destroy you. So that means that you're not good with possibly going back and forth with people. You probably don't say mean things to people. That's good. That's good that you're not a hateful person. That's good that you're not quick with your tongue in a negative way. You don't have to be quick with your tongue. Just say what's on your mind. You don't have to be the best reader and know how to tear somebody apart verbally and hurt their feelings and hit below the belt. You don't have to do that. All you need to focus on is standing up for yourself. So if they're being rude and their tone is nasty, you can confront them. You can say, well, are you having a bad day? Say the first thing that comes to your mind. Now, of course, you don't want to call a woman a bitch, or you don't want to take it to that level. Don't use profanity. Just keep it simple. The first thing that comes to your mind that's not too disrespectful. And if they came at you super disrespectful, it's nothing wrong with going tit for tat. I want you to say the first thing that comes to your mind. Don't filter it out. Yes, your stomach, you're gonna have you're gonna feel anxiety, nervousness, and in the pit of your stomach, you're probably gonna want to throw up because you're not used to pushing yourself to that level. But I need for you to push yourself. The first thing that comes to your mind when they disrespect you, you are to say it. Okay, the only thing that's blocking you is the fear. So let me ask you something. What is the worst thing that could happen? Okay, so when someone comes to you and they disrespect you verbally, in your mind, the worst thing that could happen is if it escalates and they can destroy you verbally or they can destroy you physically. Okay, the worst thing could happen is you get into a fight with a guy and he wins the fight, or you get into a verbal altercation with a woman or a guy and they completely destroy you verbally in your mind. But what is worse, that happening or you continuing? Excuse me, that's not even a word, continuing. What is worse? You verbally getting destroyed or physically getting destroyed, or you having this buildup of resentment towards yourself and other people because you won't speak up for yourself. See, the way you feel right now, that's worse. That's worse than anything they could ever do to you. That feeling you feel, let me tell you something. I know how you feel. It was so many times where people said things to me. I could tell y'all stories. I'm too embarrassed to tell them. Where people said things to me and I wanted to say something back and I didn't. I don't know why. I just stopped myself. And I had to learn, why do I keep filtering and trying to be the peacemaker? Stop trying to be a people pleaser. But I don't even think you're a people pleaser. You're trying to protect yourself, right? You're trying to control the outcome. For you, you're trying to protect yourself from getting physically attacked or getting verbally attacked. And I'm going to ask you this again. What would be so bad if you didn't win the fight or you didn't win the verbal argument? Let me tell you something. You can't get good at something if you don't practice. So if you're not used to going back and forth, people are standing up for yourself. The first time you stand up for yourself, you might not win the argument, but it's not about winning. It's just about you speaking your mind. It's not about their reaction. Screw their reaction. I know you fear their reaction. You fear their reaction because you're afraid you don't have a comeback, because you think it's going to be an argument in a debate. It can lead to that, but it doesn't matter. It's just about you speaking your mind and expressing your emotions, because what you're doing, you're suppressing your emotions. Let them out. If someone disrespects you, the first thing that comes to your mind, you let it out. Now I'm going to get into how you can, now you might say that's easier said than done. I can't get over this anxiety and fear. Now we're going to get into how you can get over that anxiety and fear. But I wanted to break down first just why you won't stand up for yourself. It's because you're dealing with a confidence issue, which is internally something that I have always dealt with and something I struggle with now. And two, what happens is you might be tall and big, but your body language might comes off that you could be a victim. And victimizers like to find victims, people to target, to bully. Okay, size doesn't matter. You can have a bully that's 5'2". You have a victim that's 7 foot tall. Okay, what they call gentle giants. See, it's about the internal confidence. The exterior doesn't determine it. It's the interior. So, for example, I remember years ago I used to go to Bally's. Bally's gyms don't even exist anymore. Excuse me. And like I said, I dealt with a confidence issue. I was always shy. People thought, oh, well, she's tall and she's quote unquote pretty. You know, she thinks she's all that. No, it was because I was shy. So a lot of times I wouldn't initiate conversation. People just assumed I was acting stuck up when that's not what was happening. I was naturally shy and I had a confidence issue. I remember this one guy, he was a personal trainer, and he would see me all the time. And And one day I was in the gym and he says, you know, when you walk, you need to walk with your head up and look people in their eye. And I said, excuse me? He says, you need to look people in their eye when you're walking. You need to walk with your head up. What he noticed that I will walk with my head looking down at the floor. When I will walk into a room, I will look down. I don't know if you do this or not, because I don't know you. I haven't met you in person, but your body language also is probably coming off more of a victim, more shy. The way that you can combat your presence is to fake it till you make it. And this is what I want you to do. Every time you leave out the house, you need to dress as good as you can. I don't know if you have work clothes you have to wear, but other than work clothes, you need to dress as good as you can when you leave out. And I want you to walk straight, looking straight ahead. And when you walk into a room, you command that room and you look around, you look everybody in their eye. Initially, you're not going to want to do it. But when you do it, it's about repetition. The first time you do something, you're not going to be the best at it. You have to keep doing it. When you first started your job, was you an expert at what you was doing your first day? No, you had to get trained, right? It took training for you to become an expert. So don't expect to stand up for yourself the first time and everything goes smoothly. Don't worry about their reaction. The person's reaction is not about them. It is about you taking your power back. This is you standing up for yourself and expressing your emotions. Okay, and if someone disrespects you, you have the right. I'm telling you, you deserve to express yourself. So we're going to get past the fear. But like I said, walk in a room and look people in their eye. I went to an event not too long ago where it was over 100 people there and I was by myself. And I walked in each room. I walked around the whole event. I was looking at everybody in their face. And I walked up and started making conversations with people. Okay. Was it hard? Yes. But the more I did it, I challenged myself. Well, today I'm going to talk to 20 people, or today I'm going to talk to 10 people and have a question you're going to ask everyone to open up the conversation. So you ask them a question. Oh, why are you here? Or what, based upon the event. But anyway, you walk into a room, you command attention by looking at everyone in their eye. When they look at you, don't turn away. When you look at a person, you make eye contact with them, smile at them. And then turn away. Make eye contact. Don't look down. Come in the room. And another thing too with shy people, we don't like attention. Okay. So you probably don't like attention. When you get attention, you get nervous, you get anxiety. And when you think a confrontation is going to happen, you feel anxiety and nervousness. Okay, so you got to get used to being in the spotlight. You have to get used to people looking at you. Most shy people don't like public speaking. I loathed it. And when I first did it and I was prepared for it, I enjoyed it. Because I got used to people looking at me and I was prepared. So you got to prepare yourself for confrontations. So this is how you prepare yourself. One thing I want you to do and consider. I want you to consider, be open-minded, getting hypnosis / hypnotherapy. They're pretty much the same thing. It's a difference, but I'm not going to get into it. Just go online and Google and look for hypnosis or hypnotherapy clinics in your area. Okay, now hear me out. They're going to help you with anxiety and confidence building. That is what you need. That's what you need to build internally. You need to build up your confidence internally. You need to be open to this because this is going to deprogram you. Okay, you need to hear affirmations. You need to change the record that's playing in your head. I at one time was going to be a hypnotherapist, so I know all about this kind of stuff. Okay. So if you are afraid to spend the money on this because you know if it's going to work and everything, I want you to go to Groupon. I'm not saying you don't have the money. I'm saying most people do not like to spend money on things they're not sure about. I want you to go on Groupon and look up hypnosis / hypnotherapy clinics in your area, and that's where you will find on Groupon they're discounted, so it might just be $50 a session. The way you can kind of get your feet wet and see if you like it. I suggest you do at least 3 sessions and tell them you are dealing with confidence issues and you want to deal with nervousness, anxiety, and most importantly, confidence building. When it comes to confrontations and standing up for yourself, you need confidence building. This has to be done internally. Okay, this is going to kind of help you get over that fear because, like I said, you want to control the outcome. You are afraid of people's reactions to you standing up to them. You're afraid of what they're going to do to you, and you feel like you cannot match them verbally or physically. So physically, if you learn how to fight, take a boxing class, and you take a self-defense class, that can help give you the confidence to feel like, okay, once I stand up for myself, if it does lead to a physical altercation, I can handle them. Verbally, you can you need to just have internal confidence verbally and stand up for yourself and just say what's on your mind. You might not win the argument. It's not about a winning. It's not about their reaction. It's about you taking your power back and letting them know they're not going to run over you. Okay, it doesn't matter if they get the last word, as long as you said what you had to say. Do not filter what you want to say to them. You got to get the fear stopping you and filtering out what you want to say to them. We got to get rid of that fear. What's going to help get rid of that fear is hypnotherapy, building your confidence, and getting rid of that anxiety. The next thing I want you to do, I'm going to link in the description box the website. I want you to listen to, her name is Kelly Howell. I think it's pronounced Howell. Kelly, Kelly, Howell, Howell. She makes subliminal MP3s, and she used to have CDs. I want you to purchase an MP3 player if you don't already have one. You can find you a cheap one. And I'm not saying you don't have the money. I'm saying a lot of times people do not want to spend money on things that they feel might not benefit them. But I'm telling you, this is going to benefit you. What I think you should do is go to a hypnotherapist, okay, have them help you get rid of your help you with confidence building and anxiety. Okay, you got to do several sessions with that, and then follow up every night. Well, listen to Kelly Howell's Confidence MP3, and I'm gonna link it here on her website. It's gonna be in the description box. It's I'm on the website. It's her MP3 for self-confidence. I have multiple CDs of hers and MP3s. They work. She have MP3s for meditation, for self-sabotage, for success, for wealth, all kind of things. And she has reviews on here. And I want to jump back to hypnosis. You might not think it works. Let me tell you something. It was a lady I knew. Had her own business and everything. I told her I wanted to be a hypnotherapist. She said her mother went to hypnotherapist and to help her stop smoking, and she no longer smokes. The hypnotherapy works, okay? Just be open-minded to it, but you need to do both of these. You need to go to hypnotherapy so they can hypnotize you to help build up your confidence and get rid of that anxiety. And then you need to follow it up every night. Listen to a subliminal MP3. The subliminal, you're not going to hear the affirmations. The subliminal is going to be music, and right below your level of hearing is going to play these affirmations, but you won't hear the affirmations, but they're going to be playing in the background, and it's going to help it sink into your subconscious. I'm going to read to you real quickly some of the affirmations of this MP3. And nothing you need to know about me too. I wanted to make my own my own affirmations. So I wanted to sell my own affirmations, and they were going to be towards black people. And I'm not going to get into all that, but I'm going to read them to you. I express my authority with ease and grace. It's easier that way. I celebrate myself for all the world to see and enjoy. My sense of self is expanding into full radiance. I hold my ground. I own my power. I like who I am. I breathe in the fragrance of my being and focus on everything that is right. The totality of who I am is much greater than I know. I embrace who I am and who I want to be. This is my power. This is my strength. I can look straight into the light without blinking. My gifts are vast and far-reaching. My vulnerability is attractive. I express my gifts freely and powerfully. I am always safe. The more I share myself, the more I am loved. I am kind and gentle with myself. I am sure in every step, every breath, every word. My contribution is valuable and appreciated. It's safe to reveal my essence. Oh, all right. I can be all of myself. There is great power in my presence. I shine out with confidence and security. That's some of the affirmations. I also want to say, too, to build your confidence, I want you to get a piece of paper and a pen right now and write down all the good things about yourself. And don't be humble, because you notice with Donald Trump and all these arrogant, overconfident people, they aren't humble. You can point out any flaw on him, and he will have a rebuttal. He doesn't care. He'll say, I'm rich. I don't care. You need to get a piece of paper and write down all of the great things about you. Okay, and don't be humble about it. Don't be bashful. It is many great things about you. Okay, and you need to focus on that. No matter what anybody says about you, you can always go back to that piece of paper and say, you can say whatever, but I got this going on. I got that going on. I'm great in this area and I'm good in this area. And I do this and I do that. That's because people are going to always have something negative to say. They're going to always try to confront you and be a jerk and try to be disrespectful. But like I said, have your list of all the great things about you and look at it every day. Look at it every day. Write it down. Okay. And you have to do these two things. Okay, you need to get hypnosis/hypnotherapy to build your confidence up, to get rid of that anxiety when it's time to confront the person and to stand in your truth and say how you feel. Because that's that fear. That anxiety is just you feeling that fear of speaking up. Because you want to control the outcome. You want to control their reaction to you. You want to stop them from, like you said, verbally attacking you and physically. But we got to get into why you feel they're going to attack you physically and verbally. Why you feel you won't be able to win the argument or win the fight. You need to build up your confidence physically. Learn how to fight, box. Take a self-defense class in case things does escalate. If you're over the age of 30, 99.9% of the time it's not going to turn physical. Okay, 20s maybe. The older you get, most people are not going to get as violent. Okay, so you fear, you're thinking the worst. You're thinking the worst because you're not prepared for it. The only way to get prepared for it is repetition, to get used to having debates with people, to get used to stand up for yourself. It's not going to be easy the first time. And that's why I'm saying, you get hypnotherapy that can deal with your confidence level, your anxiety, and then every day listen to the MP3 for confidence. I guarantee you it will help you. The CD on its own can help. It's just going to take longer. But the hypnotherapy can get in there. It can get in there and start to change your internal programming. So you can feel internally you're dealing with confidence issue internally. It has nothing to do with how you look on the outside. It's something's going on internally. I don't know if it happened when you were younger or if you are like me, you were just born shy. So if you just born shy, internally it's there. That's your personality type, and it just needs to be a deprogramming. You have to get hypnotherapy. If the money is an issue and you don't want to spend the money on it because you don't know if it's going to work, go to Groupon. I think it's called Groupon. Go there and look at the hypnosis and hypnotherapy clinics in your area and find one. There'll be on Groupon. It will be a major discount. Okay, and then Kelly Holwell, get your MP3 player. Her MP3s are only $9.95 for the self-confidence. I'm gonna link the website, the exact website for her self-confidence MP3 in the description box. You need to get it. You asked for my advice. I'm giving it to you. I ask for you to be open-minded. I hope you take what I'm saying into consideration. And anyone else is dealing with this goes for you too. You probably dealing with the same issues he is and feel the same way. Okay, you can get through it. Okay, and the more you stand up for yourself, I guarantee you it's going to get easier each and every time. You just got to get through that anxiety and that fear. You fear their reaction. Their reaction actually doesn't matter. Okay, it doesn't matter because normally it's not even going to escalate because they're not expecting you to even speak up for yourself. So once you do, it's going to shock them, and a lot of times it's going to make them bag off. But if they don't want to bag off, I want you to be prepared. It's not about you winning. What's the worst thing that can happen? Even if they verbally win an argument, it's not about their reaction. It's not about anybody winning. It's not about winning. This is about you taking your power back, speaking up for yourself, expressing yourself, and standing in your truth. Because the truth is that you deserve to express yourself just like the next person. You do not deserve for someone to disrespect you and you not speak your mind. So stand in that. Hopefully you're open to my suggestions, and have a great day.